4, 3.
What up, players?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Forget about it.
Hey, this is Bill, and that's Marty.
How you doing?
And I'm from SITREP Podcast Command Team, and we are bringing you a quick review of Dishdash Games ULTRACOMBAT MODERN. Now, this has been a Kickstarter that's been going on a couple years now. We've had a couple hiccups, bumps here and there.
But as you can see,
the book, okay? So we're going to review the book. Now, this is not your typical in-depth review. We're going to do a general overview of how the book looks, how it reads, you know, kind of. We're not going to nitpick the rules too much because we're going to do that in.
Yeah, we're going to do a Let's Play. And when we do that, then we will talk about rules specifically.
Exactly.
So we don't need to go there just yet, but we wanted to talk a little bit about one. It's out and it's available. It's been delivered to the backers, or is in progress. I don't know if it...
No, it should have been fully delivered by the end of January. February 1 is when it's supposed to go to retail.
Yeah.
So anybody who was a Kickstarter backer should have received their book. If there are some people out there that haven't, please reach out to Colin and the group at Dishdash, and they'll be more than happy to take care of you. I think Chris is also in on that as well from our friend here in the U.S. So let's talk about the book, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so here is the hardback rule book for ULTRACOMBAT MODERN.
Very nice.
So as you can see, it's full color, hardback. The pages are full color as well. It's nicely laid out. And it's divided into 3 different rule sets or sections, right?
Yeah, so actually it's kind of more than that, but you can play at the platoon level, at the squad level, and at the fire team level. And then there's also an armor section in here, because that's what the backers clamored for, so they added it. So there's a section specifically on vehicles and armor.
I gotta get my spectacles, I'm old.
By all means, please
Okay,
do.
so let's take a quick peek here. I wanted to bring this under our close-up camera. Marty, if you would, please, sir. All right, so left is right, right is left.
Yeah,
Boom.
maybe we'll call that overhead.
Okay, yeah, the overhead.
Yeah.
Why does it say that? Anyways, so I wanted to point out this page here. This is the acknowledgement, special thanks to the playtesters and our friends. Michael's in here, Carl's in here, one of our team members, Chris Long's in here.
Yep.
Several of the people are members of the podcast, but more importantly, down here in support, right there, my friends, SITREP Podcast Group. Boom, we got in the page.
Bam!
So you put it on the camera so I can see you do that.
Yes!
Yay!
And you can also see next to us is Benjamin. I don't know.
You might want to go back to the other screen.
You can also see Sergeant Benjamin, and is it, I don't know how to, Nathan Benjamin? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Is it Dike?
Dysek?
But, so Nathan is also one of the collaborators, as you can see up here.
Yeah.
He's one of the authors. And I'm pretty sure that Sergeant Benjamin there is Nathan's brother.
Excellent.
So, cool beans.
All right, so let's talk about the book. The book itself. Okay, we already said it's a hardback, full-color book. Important thing: does it have a table of contents?
It actually has several table of contents, because as we just mentioned that it's actually like 3.5 rule sets in one. Each one of those sections for each level that you can play at, platoon, squad, and fire team, has its own table of contents, as well as the armor section does. So there's a little table of contents for each one, and then when it goes to the next one, there's another table of contents.
So it is broken down pretty good. If you want to flip back to the other screen here, Marty. So, you know, it is broken down on getting started, how to understand the unit cards, because it is a unit card-driven game, and it goes into the details. Then it does, as Marty said, breaks down into your platoons, your squads, your fire teams, and then, you know, how to create a squad, action points, the skills, combat, etc., etc. And we do know that there's errata coming out as you know people get into playing the game. So it's really good. Now, this book is made by Dishdash Games, which is the creators of Skirmishing.
Yep.
So which they're working on 2nd edition as well.
Yes.
So there's a lot of similarities to Skirmish in this game, but a lot of differences as well. So the nice thing is the scalability of the game. You can go from fire team to squad to platoon. So depending on how big a game you want to play, you have that option.
Yeah. So if you're playing in the platoon rules, basically you are maneuvering all your different squads around, and you're like the platoon commander. If you're playing at the squad level, you're a squad leader that is maneuvering his fire teams. If you're playing at the fire team level, it's all individual dudes. You're moving each individual little dude around.
And you've already had the opportunity to play through the first scenario.
Yeah, Chris and I did a test playthrough at the fire team level because they're actually so there's also some scenarios that they provide you in the back, and when we do our playthrough, we're looking at playing mission 1, and that starts out at the fire team level where you're moving individual guys around. So without going into great depth in the scenario, essentially it's a U.S. fire team that is doing maneuver to contact to a Russian fire team. And you operate each one of those dudes as individuals at the fire team level. So we got a feel for that because we wanted to make sure that we look like we had a clue when we actually do our Let's Play.
Right.
You can immediately tell the differences between this game at the individual level versus like Sangan.
Right.
This is what's a good? It's more streamlined.
Okay.
If you will.
Fast
playing.
playing.
It is much more fast playing. The initiative and the turn sequence and combat is simplified and goes much faster compared to the really crunchy Sangan way of doing it.
Okay.
So if you're the guy that likes the ton of bookkeeping and likes the really crunchy games, this one's not as crunchy as Sangan is. I like I'm not the bookkeeping guy, I'm not gonna lie. The less math, the less I got, the happier I am. I really liked the turn initiative and the way combat works here. I think combat is much simpler than with Sangan.
Okay.
So, but again, we'll get into that more in depth on our next go around.
So I wanted to point out a few pages in the rule book just as graphic examples. And the first one we're going to look at right here is the diagram of one of the cards. This is squad. So it lays everything out, explains it really nice. So it's a nice full color, full page. So you're not squinching. It's really well done. The next one is that there are full color photographs of miniatures throughout the book, as well as real life combat pictures or military training pictures, if you will. And then they also have diagrams.
So
of different actions. So they're talking about here urban combat. So you totally get the flavor and understanding of what goes on. And then there are tables throughout the.
Yeah, there's some really good examples of how do I do melee? How does cover work? That type of thing.
And the nice thing also is in the back of the book for resources, you have your unit cards. There's also the chits or tokens, whatever you want to call them. If you want to take these out or photocopy them or scan them, whatever you want to do, they are in there.
So the Kickstarter came with decks of cards, and those are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now, I did not have the Kickstarter, so I bought the PDF version. And because I bought the PDF version, I had to print all that stuff out myself, which that's kind of what I do because I'm cheap, not gonna lie. But you're able to just print out those pages from the PDF, and Bob's your uncle. It's good stuff.
So outside of that, like I said, everything's full color. It's approximately, with everything, it's 256 pages. The rules actually go to, depending on,
I think you're getting into armor. Yeah, that's the armor
212
section.
First are the setup for fire team, squad, platoon. Then you get into armor, and they actually have armor cards as well. Like I said, nice full color pictures and diagrams.
And there's a glossary, then scenarios.
Right. So everything is nicely laid out. So when I read through the book, I didn't have any problems finding anything. Now, there's been some comments and things going around on the Facebook pages. No rule set's perfect.
Right.
Right?
some clarification.
Clarification's needed. It's like that. It's the first edition of Ultra Combat Modern, right? It's a whole new rule set, theoretically, of of a new game. They did come out with, we'll talk about this later, but Ultra Combat Normandy, but that's a separate game, but in a similar style. So, like anything else, you need to understand that. So, the important, what I call the pathfinders, are the people who first play this game, start playing through it, outside of the play testing stage,
right?
The finished product, and say, hey, this looks great. This, might need tweaking, yada yada yada. So I can tell you, Colin is very receptive to information.
Yeah, if you go on there, there's a community Facebook page for Ultra Combat, and if you throw a question up there, Colin will answer you, Chris will answer you, and they'll provide you some pretty immediate feedback, as well as I know Colin is already starting to work on errata and clarification. So we'll see some of that in the future.
Exactly.
One of the things I did want to mention is so they do have, I think it's 5 scenarios in the back, and the scenarios are really set up as a campaign. So it's kind of cool because the outcome of one scenario affects the start conditions and the priorities for the next scenario. So that's kind of a cool thing there. So
and where's it? It's basically in the eastern Ukraine.
Yep, it's the Ukraine. I can't remember the name of the airport. It's the old Donetsk airport, but it's been renamed.
Jim would know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first scenario right here. So and that's the one we'll be playing.
Yep, and this is the actual layout for that scenario one.
If you wouldn't mind. There it is. Okay.
So yeah, I'm building some roads and some houses and putting together a crap ton of trees, so that way we'll be able to play this shortly.
Awesome. So it's looking good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up our review of this. So like I said, this is not an in-depth review. Presentation, I like it. I think it's well put together.
So yeah, so I had the PDF copy, right? And seeing the hardback copy, that's really nice because my PDF is not printed out in color. They do make a full color PDF. It's just I don't have full color 2-page capability to print it out.
How much was the PDF? Do you remember?
Oh, it's $15.
$15. I don't remember how much the hard book's going to go for.
It was
35. Okay, so around $35 US dollars at the time of this video. So you got the PDF version. Obviously, I have the hardback version. I really like it. Full colored, nice diagrams, a lot of illustration. I'm a rule book collector more than a gamer, to be honest with y'all. I like rule books.
I can verify that.
So
he likes his rules.
I do like a good rule book. I sat down and, with a drink, I sat down and I read it, and went through it, and it seemed to make sense. There's a few things that I had to reread a couple times just to get the grasp of it. For most of it, it did what it was supposed to do. Real quick on the miniatures, if you're a Kickstarter backer, they had to hire a different sculptor. So we are going to be using the original sculpts because I have the original sculpts.
We are because, as Bill said, he's got the original test
I was
sculpts.
Fortunate enough to get a set of the original sculpts back a few years back when this first came live to review and test. So I painted up one of the Russian and one of the Americans on a previous SITREP hobby night. But I'm going to do another painting because we're going to have to paint up all the squads. Have we decided if we're doing fire team, squad, or platoon?
Well, the first mission is fire team.
Okay,
so if you follow the book, it goes fire team, and then maybe it's another fire team, or then squad, and then it's squad, and then the last one's platoon.
Okay,
so it's kind of a escalation league style, if you will. It builds as you go through the scenarios.
So what was your impression of the rule book? Do you feel it was worth your money?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I got the PDF version.
Right.
$15, no brainer.
Yes, but let's be honest. I've bought rule books before that PDF for $10, and it was singles. It was a double-sided piece of paper, not worth $10. I'm sorry. I will not mention that rule set because it's still a company and some business. But
well, essentially for the PDF version of this, it's $15. And like I said, you're getting 3.5 games out of that.
Yeah.
And I say that because you get the platoon rules, you get the squad rules, and you get the fire team rules. Plus, you get the armor, which is like an optional add-in that you can add probably at the squad level and above. I mean, armor at the fire team level is kind of
yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah, that's a little overkill.
Yeah,
a little OP there. As well as it gives you some good background, and it gives you 5 good scenarios and a way to play them out in different priorities based on the results of your previous scenario. So I'm very pleased with it, and I'm kind of a rookie player, if you will. I've only been gaming really for about 2 years now, and so I sometimes I have questions and whatnot. But for the most part, everything that we needed to do in the game, we were able to figure out how to do, because again, Chris and I are kind of rookies at this, and that's who I played with, and. When we had a question, we threw it up on the Facebook page, and Chris answered it within 12 hours.
There you
go. I threw it up there at like 11 o'clock Central Time U.S. and we had an answer the next day. So
guys, I give it a thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
So pick it up
for sure.
If you're a fan of Ultra Combat Modern or Modern Combat, this is definitely a rule set for you to invest and add to your collection. Nice thing is you don't have to use a specific brand of miniatures.
Nope.
You could do it at different scales. It could be 28, it could be 20, it could be 15. You could do it at any one. You just got to obviously adjust your math a little bit. But depending on the size of your table that you have, you can pick it up and play it. So Dishdash Games. Ultra Combat Modern was a Kickstarter. It's now going to retail as of February 1, the book. Minis to follow.
And you mentioned the miniatures.
Yep.
So Colin yesterday posted a picture of the miniatures that are currently in production that are part of the Kickstarter. So I don't know what the ETA is on them going out, but the what do they call that? The test cast, not the test cast.
The green?
Yeah.
The greens.
Sure. Anyhow, stuff's getting made.
Yep.
He threw it up on the Facebook page. So for those of you that did back the Kickstarter, probably going to be seeing those in the not too distant future.
Were these the green stuff or the actual masters?
No, master. There you go. That's the one I was looking for.
Not many people use greens anymore. Everything's digital and it goes right to resin printers.
Told you I'm a rookie at this.
So anyways, guys, that is Dishdash Games, Ultra Combat Modern, the new rule set, and here at SITREP Podcast, we give it a thumbs up, and we do recommend it.
I do. I liked it very much.
So, guys, we'll catch you on the next review or gameplay. Make sure you catch our podcast every other Sunday. Jim's live streaming gaming on Sundays.
Yep.
And Wednesday nights, we have some kind of programming as well, whether it's live stream or pre-recorded.
Yep.
It could be a game. It could be painting hobby, whatever. Make sure you like and subscribe. And tell your friends, tell your neighbors. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.